Hello everybody and welcome back. It's me, Mr. JP again. The game is Out of Ore and you catch me doing some bulldozer bullying. So yeah, this is the bulldozer. We're all familiar with the bulldozer, and people are saying it's bugged and stuff, but realistically it's working rather nicely. So I'll just push up a little bit more material here. So I want to backfill this hole anyway, so we'll just dump a little bit over there. And yeah, now that I've been playing with it a little, you need the blade on full cut. I think blade and alignment with this, likewise with the loaders, needs a little bit of looking at. But yeah, you can see you can push up and just gently let it fall out the blade. Build yourself a nice little ramp. So for those who think they need blocks to build ramps, you don't. You can sort of use blocks as a guide. If anyone wants a demonstration of that, let me know in the comments and I'll show you how to road build using blocks and tiles and stuff. And then how to take them away afterwards so that you're just left with a smooth road. But yeah, anything you guys want to see, do let me know in the comments. I'm just, as I say, gently bulldozing away here, and I'm watching the frame rate very carefully using the Steam frame rate thingy. And it's popping down between sort of 30s and 50 at the moment, so 50 to 30 is the range. The top of the reading's 50 for every game for that. There might be a setting somewhere. I'm not good with settings, I just use these things. Terrible really, for someone who should really be studying his electronics a bit harder. But when I say I'm an electronics engineer, I can build a digital model railway and I can program all the locos and I can do all that kind of thing. I can use CNC machinery, I've worked with stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of weird that I don't do software. But yeah, we'll just jump out of the dozer, touch on some construction, because you can see I was losing material off the side there and it's kind of annoying me. So we'll just grab some concrete wall here and we'll quickly add another layer. Now I'm getting better with this. As you can see, practice makes perfect. I've done a lot of building and deleting of panels and stuff, and you can see I'm having a bit of a problem getting that in there. So we zoom in to there and come on, give me a lock. Come on, I need a lock. Maybe I'm not close enough. It should just, aha, there we go, it's starting to. There's one, there's two, 3. So you can see it will do its thing for you. The direction that you look at is kind of important. So yeah, just going to put some in on this side. Yeah, I am going to do that. Just going to remove that one. I don't think it's helping me with what I'm aiming for there. And I think it'll get in the way of my bulldozing. So, in one there. Ooh, that's better. You have to be careful which way around these align. If you want smooth walls that don't sort of jump in and out on you. Yeah, we'll give that a go and see how that works out. It might work out a little bit better. Sorry for just deviating from the bulldozing, but the bulldozer bullying, but I'm going to touch on some other stuff as well. Zoom out again to see what I'm doing. So, yeah, the frame rate loss thing, there's a memory leak somewhere, and the last time this happened to this game, Christian was on it pretty quick, the developer, is very good. So I don't see how this isn't fixable, and if it is fixable, it's going to make this very nice to play. You'll be I'll be able to bulldoze and load all day, and it'll be lovely. Get some big volumes going into the machines. Actually nailed it that time and got some in. So now, people are saying Bulldozer just builds piles, and yes it does. It builds piles very well. But to take the top of the pile, you just go in at the top like that, like you would with a loader. Take the top off, because they build piles. And you just push the top off slowly and gently in a straight line, because if you try and turn you'll lose all your power. Hey, voila! And slowly, by doing that, take another cut at this point, you start to flat top the mound. I don't know what they call this. Maybe it's cutting flat, I don't know. Anyone who knows like the technical terms for these kind of groundwork things, feel free to tell me what you know in the comments, because like I'm pretty smart, but when it comes to groundworking I'm not that educated. I've worked in finished buildings all my life, you know, so site stuff, I know what order a site should work in, and you guys are always gone when I get there, so I've never really seen you working. So most of what I've seen is road working. I think I really want to work big machines in a quarry. I think it's about the only job I'd be qualified to do, because those machines are so big you don't change a tyre on your own. You've always got a maintenance team, that kind of thing. So I think the fact that I'm only allowed to lift 10 kilos might not be a hindrance. So yeah, I'm starting to get real frame rate drops down into the teens, and I don't like it when my frame rate touches teens. It's not right. So I'm going to back the Bulldozer out here and park it up. And I'm going to smooth cut all of that, but because I built up a berm earlier, just down at the bottom there. And we're going to switch over. Go over to the machine, I think, first before I start doing this, and we'll start both machines, get them processing. Dumper's not under the waste out, which is good, because I'm just going to let this pile up in the waste piles at the moment, whilst I'm loading up, and then I'll start loading dumpers when I can see what I'm doing. So that's running. There's 4,880% in there, which isn't bad. Considering that all the hopper run on that line is probably, yeah, you can see there. No, they're not that full, so that's interesting. I really must line that staircase up properly. Oh no, yeah, they are running. 26, 820. So there's probably another 1,000% of a hopper, another 2,000 in that hopper run. So we'll go across to the loader. Get this on. Oh. Gonna have to be careful about that then. Demolish mode. Turn my machine into a demolition machine because I left the blade too low. And it has chunked that floor out. Okay. This is what I mean. I'm just changing the position that I build at by walking backwards and forwards here. Just looking at the edge of the nearest tile. There we go. Keep them there. I always have quite a lot of tiles and that kind of thing on me. So now I can zero my bucket without punching a hole because the demolition mode isn't on. So we'll zero that. There we go. And I'm going to want to extend in this direction over here, so start taking out this material. See what it does to the frame rate, keep an eye on that. Now that we've done dozer loading. So what I'm doing with this cut, because the rich stuff is all to my right, we're just going to go in. I'm loading up the other machines so they both start running a bit. And with frame rates of 14 we're going to stop playing that game now, because otherwise we're going to have a crash. So I think I'll go over to the dumper. Don't know which one's in the right place. Not that one. If you leave that window open you can jump between them quite quickly. So don't close it and open it again because you just get the machine window for it. So position ourselves there. I'm getting some cash out of what I've been processing, so that's a good start, but I now can't load any more machines because of that frame rate drop. I risk a crash. So it's a matter of wait for it to process. And then once it's processed and you've got all your money in, save, quit, reload the game, and then you can do some more of it. So kind of a batch running process going on here. What we can probably do, go over, drive the 301 down here, and start cutting this out a bit more, I guess. So I want a flat area off here. I'm sure I killed off all the trees. I'll have to do that one again. Bury it through the hole in the floor job, which I think I demonstrated in a previous video. Pretty sure I did. Let's build this up a bit more here. But yeah, to kill off trees that are under your buildings, just cut the floor away and dump a load of material like this through the hole gently. It should do the job for you nicely. A bit ropey there, but be alright once it's been smoothed. You can see the cut angle there, it just won't go into that on that slope and angle. So get a bit more cut on, turn into the slope so that you're actually hitting it square on. You'll go straight in. So you have to hit this dirt sort of square on. If you hit an angle that's more than sort of 35, between 25 and 35 degrees, you'll slide along it instead of cutting it. So it's always good to sort of, if you're really struggling, build a flat surface like what's over there, or like what I've got around my hoppers up at the top there, and you can just literally roll onto the flat surface, get yourself aligned, back up a bit, get your blade down into the cutting position, which is, you know, about 22.5 degrees down angle on the bucket, and then just drive forward, gently lift the arm so your front wheels remain on the deck, and you'll cut all day. If your front wheels come off the deck, whether it's the dozer, whether it's the loaders, it seems to affect whether the blade cuts or destroys, depending on what's going on. So yeah, just gently lay this one out, do a bit of smoothing, and then I'll go and get that dumper full, which I reckon it's probably full. But it seems like terrain edits in an area is an influence. I did a lot of bulldozing up there, and the frame rate was really starting to drop into the teens, and I'm down here doing this, and everything's okay, because maybe still getting, oh no, as I'm smoothing I'm getting bits of lag, and it's all getting a bit crazy. So yeah, let's go and have a look and see what that dumper's up to. Pretty sure it's the second one that we want. Yeah. No, not even there yet. Okay. Go back to the 301 then. I do like this 301. I like the 302 as well, but 302's got the wheel covers and this one's exposed. It just feels that little bit more rugged, I guess would be the way to put it. A bit like my RC truck's got big wheels on it because it's a monster truck style thing. It does 50 miles an hour though. It's a bit crazy because at those speeds, when you corner on the wheels that it's on, you hit the suspension stops and you just roll. And it's a standard out of the box car, it's nothing special, so just electric. So yeah, that can be a bit confusing. Also, when the suspension's at full travel, the steering locks in one direction, so you can't steer that way. It sort of blocks the steering bar, which is kind of frustrating. Design error. Bit of a surprise as well because it's quite a well known and well respected brand, so I was a bit shocked to find that. So there we go. I think it might be one of the first generation ones, so they might have got rid of it in the second run. So yeah, I do like the I think I've got the graphics on medium at the moment, because my card apparently should handle the whole game, so I might be turning them up a bit more, might be going over to the day-night cycle. I think I should probably start filming on the day-night cycle, start to try out some of the lighting mods and stuff on the vehicles. Probably going to need them if I go underground in my mining. So yeah. A bit more down over here. This time we'll drive forward over it just for chuckles. That way. Yeah, it shakes it all out of the bucket for you, see. So yeah, that builds all out a bit. Let's see if I can do a better job of smoothing it this time. See, by building up the average area height around it, you sort of stop it from smoothing quite so low as it would normally. But it still will cut off everything you put down perfectly happily. So a trick to limiting it: set the height you want, run along it, look what happens, and just gently click rather than hold down, and you can sort of level it off a bit better. So yeah. The leveling tool is very expensive in material moved in a way, because but it can be used like a knife to cut material down as well, which is handy. Right, let's go and have a look at this dumper now. So you can see these guys can take a little bit of time to load. Thinking about making up some kind of double loading ramp, getting 4 of these machines on the go. But we're going to need to dig longer to make that worthy. But that'll double the fill rate, so that'd be kind of cool. Go tip with this dumper. There's quite often an update on a Sunday afternoon as well, so touch wood. Hopefully we'll get a game update. That'll be pretty wicked. See, once a road build gets sort of smoothed and finished and a bit better, a bit less ropey than this bit is here through here, for instance, it's quite a satisfying feeling to drive along it with the fuel truck or the other small wheeled machines at quite a speed, because you're like, oh yeah, this works. Great feeling of satisfaction. That's an important thing in a game like this. You need to feel a satisfaction when you achieve a task, because they're self-assigned tasks, and if you're self-assigning tasks that don't make you happy, then you might want to try a different game. I will be trying a different game for a break at some point. I keep on saying that. I will. Should play some Call to Arms or 7 Days to Die or Space Engineers. If you want to see any of those games, let me know in the comments. Railroads Online. I've got the Windows version of Transport Tycoon Deluxe, WinTTD I think it's called, on Steam, and I think it's free or very cheap, I can't remember. But it's well worth looking up if you're into your old school gaming. It's a top-down transport simulator, think SimCity, but you don't control the cities, only the railways. But by feeding the cities with passengers and finished goods, along with mail, you can get them to expand at a much faster rate. So the idea is to gather the resources in the countryside, run them a long distance to a production facility that's the longest distance away from the town you want to feed, and then run a rail line in, because you get paid for the distance that you move all the stuff. It covers the full range of transport as well in TDD. So you've got trucks, buses for the resources. Yeah, it's a good little game, that one. Graphics are simple. Think DOS. If those of you who are too young to remember DOS, well, DOS is an operating system. It stands for Disk Operating System, I believe, or something similar. Yeah, it pretty much powered the original digital revolution in schools, because all our school PCs and stuff were DOS based to start with, or even old BBCs if you remember those, so going back a few years. Um, but yeah, don't knock the old DOS games. They've got some playability left in them. They really have. So yeah, if you haven't given old school gaming a go, it's a bit like Minecraft in the fact that everything's a bit ropey. That's where Minecraft is sort of the homage to the old school gaming. And a lot of your new school games have got their roots in old school games, in the same way that Out of Ore has its roots in Bergsbrook. For those who don't know your history, whilst I'm just digging away and waiting for that thing to fill, Bergsbrook was the father, mother, progenitor, predecessor of this game, and it was meant to be multiplayer. I bought it because it was meant to be multiplayer, and I should be really pissed off because this isn't multiplayer, but I kind of like it because it means you have to talk about it, and it's like old school gaming back in the my school days when we all used to play games, come in and talk about them, you know. So yeah, it evolved from Bergsbrook, and Bergsbrook was a little different. How to explain it? The machinery was different. It was all mobile. There wasn't much of that construction. I didn't play it much towards the end because I was waiting for the multiplayer asset, but it never arrived. And then a few months after the announcement that Bergsbrook was sort of shutting down, Out of Ore came out, and I've been hooked ever since. So yeah. Obviously, where I didn't get hooked on Farm Sim, this has obviously got the bug that I was trying to satisfy over that. So yeah, I've been waiting for Farm Sim for quarrying for quite a while, as it were. So yeah, this is good. I do like it. The soil mod, in my opinion, shows great promise. Those who are griping about it may not be the most patient of people. I don't mean they're like, oh, I want it now. I just mean that you require a certain amount of patience to fight with a development game. I've fought with a few in development games, and it is a road fraught with joy and disappointment. This one has been a joy so far, and I think it's going to go places that are going to be a joy in future. But just currently, we've got a few bugs like that one. But there's nothing like a bit of yippee-ki-yay off of a high gantry. They were a fun set of games. I must see if I can find those. There was a movie with Bruce Willis called Lethal Weapon. The first one had a British bad guy, Alan Rickman. Was the actor, and great respect to that actor. Love his character acting; it's brilliant. Just the way he says stuff. But yeah, those were some good old school. There was 3 games that were based on the movies. The first one was sort of walk around, top-down view, shoot 'em up, rescue the hostages type thing in the building, like the original storyline. The second one was a Time Crisis style game. If any of you have heard of Time Crisis, you sort of had a button you could duck behind cover and then pop up and shoot the bad guys, and it decides to scroll you to the next area. So you didn't really walk anywhere, if that makes sense. The game just took you between areas, and it's built a bit like that. The era was full of it. There were old school games like Operation Wolf in the arcades where you had a gun and you shot stuff and the screen rolled on and there was more bad guys. Different time. Simpler time. They were always popular on the ferry. So yeah, I'm getting the knack of dumping with the dumper truck. It is still a pain in the neck sometimes when it's on the angles, but if you're building flat roads, it's not so bad. Trees, as you can see, have become like titanium tree until they snap and then they're gone. Looking forward to getting into these seams and seeing what's in them. It's probably coal. And then I've got to haul it all the way up this hill. I may be broke by the time I finish this elevator and machine and waste dump, but we'll see. It's a long way up to the Grizzly elevator. But it'll be worth having a lifter elevator set on this hill, because I'm going to be going into the lithium over there as well, so I could just run like a filter out that way to it. I was thinking of direct running into it, just dumping everything into it, sending it all to the Grizzly. when I cut into the lithium seams over there, because it's like directly opposite the way that runs out. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Let me know in the comments if you'd rather I concentrated on ripping into a lithium seam rather than my current platinum seam mine. I am going to be getting nearer those seams, it's just a matter of it's getting a bit difficult to get on with mining, right? So that's all the machines run through. So quickly run a save. Let's say this is just general gameplay video, so should be alright for me to ramble a little. I've been a bit off topic at times. So what we'll do after this save is we'll go back to the dozer and see if we can't start loading the machine with that again. Takes a while to save. My recording's also paused whilst it happens, so sorry if you lost any of the audio there. I was just doing a save, and the counter locks up on the audio recording. I don't know if that actually means it does. Let's see if we can crash the game. Well, let's see if frame rate drop's gone now that I've got rid of all the dirt that's in the machine. I've got my blade down a bit. I just want to wipe this pile out. There. I'm just gently going to push that pile forward a bit. Pull back out. Go in again. Just gently work the area down in little skinny layers, because people are moaning that your dozer's got no power and it digs in and stuff, and the little dozer, I'd agree, there's something wrong with that, but as long as you don't try and push half a mountain, everything's fine, you don't dig in. See that there, I've just skimmed through that big chunk. Now I'm just lifting it up the hill, raising my blade and lowering it, rocking it up as well, left and right, to try and kind of keep it square. I've got blade full now, so it's climbing. And then into the hopper, some of that went. And the frame rate drop wasn't too bad, so it might be possible to actually long game at the moment. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So that machine will be loading the dumper now, so I'll have to check that between sort of lumps. But oh, hello. 7 frames. We could be dead here. 13, 16. Oh. Okay. So yeah, that's a bad game to play. Just back that out of there again. So yeah, this if they can cure this frame rate drop thing, that would be great, and then work on the machines to get the alignment right for the cutting for some of the other loaders, like the 500's a bit dodgy. You can see what the aim of this game here is. It's access to this lithium seam. We're going to clean that out first. That might get cleaned out with dumper in this direction. Just straight in. I don't know yet. Might go through the machines. Might be able to build a hopper over here. Bring it down the hill. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's the plans anyway. That one won't be doing anything because it hasn't had anything in it in ages, so I might as well save myself some cash. Otherwise I'm going to be broke with the money. Still got material coming in through the hoppers, so there's a way. Let's run out. Yeah, I'm getting a steady stream of payments in. You can see here, production upkeep to 10 grand. So I've got to make 10 grand a day just to break even. So we've got 1 grand there, 2 grand there, probably another 3 grand. So yeah, you can easily break even on pay dirt on the machinery now, which is nice. Because that's the way it should sort of be. I took a couple of runs into that hopper with the bulldozer. It'll be interesting to see how much ends up coming out. It's filling, slowly but surely. So we'll take the 301 out again. Continue this cut out this way. You can see there it just starts pushing material along. So yeah, come out of it. This gully looks low, so I'm going to backfill it a bit. It's probably low because I smoothed it earlier. Get plenty of material in there and then smooth it out, see how we get on. You can always skim it out again, you see. Skim it back smooth with the machine and then smooth again. Where's that seam over there? So we'll go that way. So yeah, when working a face like this, you want to work the bit that sticks out the furthest, go in at the toe and just work your way up. You'll get a full bucket, nearly every time, just like that. Just remember that the cut angle on the bucket is a bit more downwards than you think. If you have it sort of parallel, it can give you a bit of a problem, but let's see if I can demonstrate that now without crashing my game. So I've got a parallel bucket here, roughly speaking. There we go. I'm just going to put it in at the base, keeping it parallel. So putting it in the right position out of habit now. That's good. So yeah, it's slightly downhill, and I'm just driving in, and you'll see it starts to stutter and rise, and then full bucket. And in that position, it cuts reasonably flat, but I was still climbing uphill. So you've got to expect a bit of uphill climb with these at the moment. It's nothing that a bit of smoothing afterwards or another cut can't put right, as it were. So see if we can take some of this lump down here out. Oh, the stuttering! Oh, the stuttering! Apologies to those of you who suffer from stutter, but my machine's joined you. It can be a bit awkward in social situations, I know, but it's one of those things that I'm perfectly willing to be patient about, so it's never been a problem. A couple of my friends have got speech problems, and get round it, you know. Just a little bit of patience on my side, a bit of patience on their side with me as well, and everything's cool. Sometimes it's just the fact that I speak so quickly that they don't have time to say anything between the sentences, so yeah, just a matter of a tap on the arm and a slow down. Everything's fine. Yeah, some of them were born that way, some of them had a car accident or something. It's, yeah, quite a few of my mates have had poor luck when it comes to cars. Definitely. Here I am playing a vehicle sim because I can't afford to buy one of these in real life. So I'd love to own a fairly large loader. It'd be pretty cool. Go out contracting. Might look into it. We'll see. We'll see. Thinking about the telehandler type loaders probably a bit better than this kind of thing for the area I live in, being a bit agricultural and a bit modern, so you get lots of building projects and stuff. But we'll see. See what goes on. Personally, I quite like being a YouTuber. It's quite a lot of fun. Making up these videos and stuff. Big thank you to all you guys who are watching, by the way, if you've got this far. Big up to you. So yeah, we just load that up, go back over here. I'll smooth this out, and then we'll see if we've actually got much in that dumper, because I didn't do that much bulldozing. I think I only did like 1 or 2 scoops by memory, so smooth all this out. Got up this slope a bit as well. Yeah, don't be afraid to smooth out everywhere you can see when it comes to the natural terrain, because it's all crenellated. It's all got lots of little bumps and lumps in it, and if you're planning to go anywhere in the fuel truck, you will find yourself smoothing in front of your wheels as you go along. Just the way it is. So I'm just going to smooth along there, like that. Get a bit more of a, it's a bit of a ropey ramp, but it'll do. Might need a dump truck load in there, but if I see the green of the natural map cut through where I've smoothed out, I'm going to be really annoyed. So yeah, as you can see, you do lose a lot of material with the smoothing. It might be more efficient to use the grader or to smooth it after deep filling it with a loader off of that table in a straight flat. Might try that with a dumper. Let's see how much that dumper's got in it. Probably the wrong dumper. No? Right dumper. Yeah, nothing. Okay, I'm not even going to bother driving that down the hill. This is why this rig is rigged this way. I can just go do this and say goodbye to the load. And it just goes out that way, onto that, and out. So it's kind of handy. If I was running the produce from the drums straight through here, I could have a look at, skip this with the waste and put the good stuff into something like this, and then look at it and decide whether I wanted to put it into the crushers or whether I wanted to drive it straight to the grizzly. Which gives you the ability to sort of filter your material as it comes in. But yeah, so just have a little look and see if this loader can dig over here. See what happens. See, there's a funny gold hue to this bit here. I don't know whether it's an indicator that this is a gold seam or it's got the actual gold in it. Running a bucket full of this might be a good plan, but not in that hopper because I turned the machine off. Try the other hopper. Mess that up, should have gone wide. There we go. Oh, hello frame rate drop. If this ends abruptly, it's because it crashed. Down to 10. Better than the 9 that we had earlier. So yeah. So I hope that's sort of giving you an idea of what's possible in this game once they sort out some of these memory leaks and stuff. This is what I mean by the game shows great promise. Look at the complexity of what I've got rigged up here, and we're in a development game that's in its first, 6 weeks of being released. So a little bit of yippee-ki-yay. Yippee-ki-yay! There we go. Pull down there. Get my pointer back, have a look in this machine, which is running through stuff. It may seem a bit weird to sit here and just look at this, but just wanted to see what kind of percentage of stuff was coming out of that, and the answer is nearly nothing. So yeah, the gold is definitely not in the top stuff. I think the term would be absolutely nothing. However, it's probably put a bit more into this dumper, so that was a single bucket full of muck. And yeah, it's dropping a bit more in. %, in that hopper. The hoppers do slow down the rate that it gets to the drum from the supply, so might see whether I can cut some of them out. There we go, that's finished. Don't know why I'm turning them off. I'm going to save and exit and they'll all be off when I re-enter the game. All of this material will be missing from the hoppers if I were to save and quit with it in there. Likewise what's in the dumper, but I want it on the waste pile. It's going on the waste pile, and that's that. So yeah, on the bright side with the whole quitting and saving thing, it gives me time between games to actually take a break, be good to my eyes, eat something, which is something that all gamers should do. You hear these horror stories. And also gives me time to upload the videos that you also enjoy. So I'm going to leave this here. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Mr. JP, the game is out of awe. You're all brilliant for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you later on. Hope you've had a good one.